Was crowned King of the Mountain after a thrilling race.
A 14mm overnight drenching turned Mount Panorama into a mud bath. But for thousands of touring car lovers, that just added to the excitement of Australia's great race. In the pits, race strategies were being reviewed and the drivers were edgy.
When you're doing 280 kilometres an hour down the straight and you can't see the end of the bonnet, it is death-defying.
The 34th Bathurst 1000 blasted off in a sea of spray.
They're away, and off the line, Lowndes got the better start. Seaton's got the inside running though as they go to the corner. Look for Alan
Young
Jones.
gun Craig Lowndes led from the start.
But it's Lowndes, why gee, what a start.
But conditions were so treacherous, organisers sent out the pace car and drivers spent most of the first hour lined up behind it. Even that caused problems. As the pace picked up, Alan Jones took over the lead, only to make an explosive exit in the 25th lap.
Goodness me, Alan Jones.
Jones had to run from the car as a marshal rushed in to douse the flames.
I don't know what's happened, but the car is ablaze.
Eventually, the weather cleared. Melbourne driver Craig Lowndes defied the chaos and a controversy involving the pace car to score an impressive victory, sparking off a major celebration for the thousands of Holden Commodore fans who surged onto the track. Natalie Barr, 7 Nightly News.
And we'll have more from Bathurst in...
Dick Johnson second and Tony Longhurst third. But the win was soured by rain, accidents and drama with the pace car.
Eerie scenes masked the drama that unfolded in the first hour of the great race. Some understandably cautious on the starting grid after previous scraps in the wet.
It reminds me of the first year that I drove in Bathurst. I was inexperienced and, to tell you the truth, it frightened the hell out of me that day.
I think I'll need an umbrella inside the car.
Their fears were well-founded, the weather easing for race start.
They're away, and off the line, Lowndes got the better start. Seaton's got the inside running though as they go to the corner. Look for Alan Jones in the pack leader. Falcon trying to spear through the middle. Brock plays it cautious going into the turn.
With visibility down to a few metres when the rain returned, Stephen Richards and Tony Scott were the first to leave the 6.2-kilometre circuit. Mark Larkham did the same at Conrod Straight on lap 4, the safety car making the first of its many appearances. But it didn't stop the chaos. Two others coming to grief as they filed past the stricken Falcon.
Look at that, there's a collision. Wayne Russell,
car, yeah.
John Trimble in the Daily Planet Falcon.
When the event restarted, leader Craig Lowndes was under immediate threat.
He's going to try and get him at Shell Helix corner. Alan Jones does it and takes the lead of the AMP.
Falcon's charge short-lived as Jones's chances went up in smoke. More flames this time for Stephen Richards after his campaign came to an abrupt halt.
Bow's heart is in his mouth. He slides to the left. Leave me out of this, he says. Go away.
Race favourite Glenn Seaton and Peter Brock were plagued by mechanical problems. Larry Perkins' co-driver Russell Ingall temporarily bunkered their chances. Some limped into the pits any way they could. The spins continued, but as the laps mounted, the weather cleared and the track dried out. Lowndes, Longhurst, Johnson and their respective co-drivers all leading at various stages. But after 140 laps, the Holden racing teams Lowndes and Murphy had established a 38-second lead before the most important mishap of the day. Mal Rose's misfortune bringing the pace car out for the 4th time, eroding Lowndes' advantage and causing confusion among several other leading contenders claiming a lap miscalculation.
Oh, it's just crap. But I mean, you know, I've seen this sort of garbage here before.
And they've got it totally wrong, and I don't know what they're doing up there. They obviously need a pair of glasses, all of them.
Lowndes left the controversy in his wake, the 22-year-old again proving superior around the mountain. The Victorian and co-driver Greg Murphy becoming the youngest ever winners at Bathurst.
Craig Lowndes wins the 1996 AMP Bathurst 1000.
Well, the football finished an hour ago and the cricketers...
Craig Lowndes wins a controversial Bathurst 1000. Rugby League's old prodigy Craig Lowndes becoming the youngest ever King of the Mountain. The great race had it all. Rain, fire and fuming drivers. Wayne Gardner giving the stewards a mouthful, but the day belonged to Craig Lowndes.
The Everest of Australian motor racing, with a grid full of hopeful climbers 161 laps away.
They're away, and off the line, Lowndes got the better start.
While Craig Lowndes took the early lead, the weather took control. The mountain mist swallowing cars and the wet track spitting them out. Even the safety car couldn't stem the exits.
Look at that, there's a collision.
It's treacherous conditions. You've got no idea how slippery it is at the moment.
A battle against the elements and a tougher fight between Ford and Holden.
Alan Jones does it and takes the lead.
But Alan Jones's clear view ended in steam.
Whoa, that's Alan Jones.
Alan Jones, the car's on fire.
Yet another campaign over.
It's enormous disappointment for about 25 people here in the crew that they've built the motor car all year for this day.
Problems too for other big names. Glenn Seaton firing a cylinder short. Stephen Richards.
Oh, he's given the wall a decent nudge with the rear end.
And Russell Ingall in Larry Perkins' entry.
Oh, Russell Ingall has put it in the dirt.
As tape stretched Peter Brock's panel-beating bill, Ken Douglas twisted out of trouble.
Oh!
And Lowndes and Greg Murphy settled at the front again, chased by John Bowe and Dick Johnson. Behind them, trouble for Wayne Gardner.
It's a right front puncture.
Mal Rose prompted the day's controversy, his slide into concrete bringing the safety car out for the fourth time and bunching the field together, leaving Perkins and Neil Crompton trapped in front of race leader Lowndes, but effectively a lap behind.
Oh, it's just crap. But I mean, I've seen this sort of garbage here before. We'd like to find somebody in this country who understands a pace car one day.
Obviously, the stewards can't count. They need to get back to school.
A brief return to normal, then another crash, another safety car, and more frustrations just 16 laps from the finish.
Now, what's Perkins going to do?
He's pulling up alongside to give this bloke a mouthful.
Why don't you guys just wake up?
It mattered little to Lowndes, out front and out of reach. Johnson Bowe second, Tony Longhurst third.
Craig Lowndes wins.
We stayed out of trouble the first quarter of the race. It was very, very treacherous. It rained, it stopped, it stopped. The pace car was out there more than we were on the circuit. So no, we're very, very lucky to pull through that. And Greg went out on slicks, and as I said, we just never had a problem since then.
Craig Lowndes at 22 and Greg Murphy, the youngest pair ever to win Bathurst.
Rugby league.
Yesterday signals a new era in motorsport.
Well done, Craig. Good job, mate. Great work.
Overnight, Craig Lowndes had become the young gun everyone wanted a piece of.
Greg and I have worked very, very hard, not only in the car, but physically and mentally, and yeah, it's all paid off.
When he sort of come over the finish line, it was just absolutely brilliant.
But it wasn't the only partnership Craig's been working on. At the height of last night's celebrations, he proposed to girlfriend Natalie, and she accepted. His triumph over Australia's touring car greats in the worst conditions ever seen has sparked a new era in motor racing. Lowndes is younger than any Bathurst winner, and he's now being hailed the new Peter Brock.
It's shaping up that way, isn't it? Like he equalled Peter Brock's record of 1980 with the Touring Car Championships, Sandown and Bathurst wins.
As the crowds headed home from one of the most spectacular King of the Mountain contests, the race hero was getting used to the attention he can expect in his next assault on Europe's Formula 3000. Natalie Barr, 7 Nightly News.